Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a really different way of thinking about the future of medical AI. You see, for years, the big goal has been to build a single, perfect AI doctor. But what if that whole quest for perfection is actually what's holding us back? I mean, really think about it. Is a perfect AI even the right goal to be chasing? What if, instead of trying to stamp out every single flaw, we could actually use those flaws to our advantage? This is a huge shift in thinking, and it's exactly what we're going to explore. And you can see the disconnect right here. In the AI world, the common goal has always been to build that one flawless model. But that's not how real medicine works, is it? We know human experts aren't perfect. That's why we have systems like second opinions and tumor boards, where a whole bunch of specialists weigh in. We rely on collective wisdom. So why on earth aren't we doing that for AI? Well, that is the exact question that a really groundbreaking new framework is trying to answer. It's a system that looks at imperfection not as a problem to be solved, but as a feature to be used. It's called MEDLEY, and the best way to think about it is as an AI consultation panel. Now, this whole idea comes from a manuscript called Leveraging Imperfection with MEDLEY, and the authors are Farhad Abtahi, Mehdi Astaraki, and Fernando Sawone. They're the ones proposing this completely new way of building trustworthy AI for medicine. So what is MEDLI? Well, the name stands for Medical Ensemble Diagnostic System with Leveraged Diversity. At its core, it's a framework that brings together a bunch of different AI models. But, and this is the game changer, instead of averaging out all their answers to get one single best guess, MEDLI keeps all the different opinions, especially the ones that disagree. And this is the analogy that makes it all click. Don't picture one single, all-knowing AI superdoctor. Instead, picture an AI tumor board. It's like having a whole panel of AI experts, each with their own specialty presenting their unique findings. It gives the human doctor a way richer, more complete picture. Okay, so how does it actually pull this off in practice? Well, the whole MEDLEY framework is built on 4 key principles, 4 pillars that make the whole thing work. First up is diversity. You have to use models that are truly different training data, different architectures, different everything. Second, transparency. You need to know the resume of every single model, what it's good at, what it's bad at, where it came from. Third, and this one is absolutely crucial, is plurality. You keep all the outputs, the popular opinion, the dissenting views, even the weird outliers. And finally, context. You give all this information to the clinician so they can use their own judgment to interpret the results for the actual patient in front of them. It's these 4 things together that turn AI flaws into a diagnostic superpower. Now, to really understand the safety benefits here, the authors use this brilliant analogy that I love, the Swiss cheese model of safety. Okay, so just imagine each individual AI model is like one slice of Swiss cheese. Now, every slice has holes, right? Those holes are its unique flaws, its blind spots, its biases. And if you're only relying on one single slice, it's pretty easy for a big mistake to slip right through one of those holes. But this is where MEDLEY gets so clever. It layers multiple, different slices of cheese, one on top of the other. And because each AI has different flaws, the holes don't line up. An error that might get through the first slice gets caught by the solid part of the second. This creates this incredibly strong safety net. You're not trying to make one perfect, hole-free slice. You're just managing the risk by layering imperfect ones. So in the real world, this whole thing happens in 3 stages. First, a whole bunch of different AI models all chew on the same patient data at once. Then an orchestration engine organizes all of their outputs. It notes where they agree, where they disagree, and even tries to explain why, based on what we know about each model. And finally, it gives the clinician a report that shows everything. The consensus, yes, but also the strong alternative opinions, and even the rare long-shot predictions that could point to something unexpected. And check out this example right from the paper. A single model system looks at the data and says, with 78% confidence, viral myocarditis. Case closed. But the MEDLEY system, it also flags something called familial Mediterranean fever, because one of its specialized models is really good at spotting that. The potential outcome here is staggering. The single model could completely miss a serious genetic condition. MEDLEY gives the clinician a fighting chance to catch it early. I mean, that's a huge difference. So you see, this is way more than just a cool tech innovation. It's a massive ethical shift. The MEDLEY framework makes us rethink everything we thought we knew about fairness, safety, and transparency when it comes to medical AI. Let's just take justice, for example. The traditional approach is to build a one-size-fits-all model, which we know often fails people in minority groups. Medley says, no, let's champion those specialized subgroup-specific models. For the principle of do no harm, the goal isn't to eliminate every error anymore. It's to manage error through this layered, redundant system. And for transparency, instead of trying to explain one black box answer, Medley just lays all the cards on the table, showing every perspective and every disagreement for the clinician to see. This could also completely change the AI marketplace. Right now, we're heading toward a world dominated by a few giant supermodels. Medley challenges that. It creates an ecosystem where a small developer who's built a model that's amazing at identifying one rare disease in one specific population suddenly becomes incredibly valuable. It opens the door for so much more innovation. And what about the doctors themselves? Well, their job gets way more interesting. They're no longer just a passive user clicking accept or reject on what a machine tells them. They become an active orchestrator, a conductor leading a symphony of AI experts, using their own wisdom to synthesize all those perspectives and make the best call for their patient. And this leads to another huge safety benefit. As the authors themselves put it, by showing multiple, often conflicting viewpoints, Medley helps fight what's called automation bias. That's just our human tendency to blindly trust a confident-sounding computer. When you see a bunch of AIs disagreeing, it forces you, the human, to stop, to engage your brain, and to think critically. So we end up right back where we started. Maybe the key to building AI we can actually trust in medicine isn't about chasing this impossible dream of perfection. Maybe, just maybe, it's about embracing the very same principle that makes human medicine great: partnership. A partnership between diverse, imperfect AIs, all working together under the guidance of an empowered, expert human. Now that sounds like the real future of medicine.